Chinese tone feels scary, right? You probably hear this. If you say it in the wrong tone, you say a completely different words. That's right, but here's the secret. You already know all the tone in English. That's right. In today's video, I am going to prove to you in minutes that Chinese tone aren't as foreign or scary as you thought. In fact, your brain has already know how to pronounce them. You just need to make the connection. Okay, the first tone is the easiest. First tone is by using your natural vocal range. You literally just maintain that sound the whole process. It's a bit like people meditate. If you ever seen someone meditate, they actually make the noise during the whole time, like this. Right? So when they're doing that during meditation, they actually pronounce Chinese first tone. Use this as example, we try to say it, but not as long as that one. They would be like this. So you relax your throat, you relax your mouth, and then just make it natural, and that's it. But there is a key. So in Chinese, when you pronounce the sound, you need to make it a bit longer than English. Because in English, a lot of people will pronounce like this, so that's way too short. How to pronounce that correctly is this. I got a trick. So in music, we got beat. What is beat? It's like going down and up. That's called one beat. So when you say English, it's just up. So did you see that? That doesn't even go all the way to down. So that's a quarter of a beat. That's way too short. So the proper way to pronounce Chinese tone, you need to pronounce a whole beat, especially for the first tone. You'd be like this. And then your voice doesn't go up and down, you just stay the same. Right? Get it? Pretty simple, right? Okay, Chinese second tone. I quite really like this one because you actually use that a lot in English. Okay, so in English you call it intonation. So especially when you ask a question, right? For example, pardon, yes, would you like some tea? Tea, did you hear that? So by the end of a sentence, when you ask a question, your tone just go like that. Yes, pardon. Okay, so if you don't speak English, if you watch any of the Japanese movie, you hear Japanese people always like to say this word. So did you realize that? That's exactly the same. So is Japanese people basically question something. So they will say this, And if you're born in Australia, you will hear people say this, hey, a lot. So same thing, that's all about asking question or you're not sure about something, basically asking question, right? So that intonation is literally the second tone. So remember, the second tone equal questionable intonation. So again, let's use as an example. So earlier we learned for the first tone, which is like this. So second tone, we simply apply that questionable intonation into So how are you gonna pronounce that? It will be like this. Do you get that? If you have trouble, just pronounce yes a couple of times first. Yes, and then use that to say So you will make the perfect second tone. Okay, the third tone I think is the most difficult one for most of the Chinese learner, but I found a good way to help you with it. So first of all, if you go to Google it or whatever, they will tell you third tone is actually a pitch that going from higher to lower and then from lower to higher. It'd be like this. But in fact, 99% of a chance when we pronounce the third tone, we don't pronounce the full one like that because it's just too hard, right? Because when we in the daily life, everyone's busy, we don't really want to make that last way too long. So 99% of the time, we only pronounce half of it, which is Okay, the way to pronounce it well is like this. Imagine you're having a bad day and you have a sigh. What does that mean? It's like this. But when you sigh, usually you don't have much sound, right? You just like let the air out. But when you pronounce the third tone, make it emphasize or make it like a sound coming out. So it will be like this rather than just, you say this, Do you hear that? So, So that is literally the third tone. I know it's hard to pronounce that, but apply that sigh to when you pronounce the ah. Might be hard from the very beginning, but you practice more, you will get easier. And earlier we just say when we pronounce the tone, we need to make a beat, right? However, the third tone is a bit different because the full third tone should be like this, ah. However, like I just said, because we only pronounce the first half, so this third tone, we only do half beat. It'll be like this, ah, 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 ah. So imagine that's a sign. Okay, so in that way, you will perfectly pronounce the third tone. Okay, the last tone is the Chinese fourth tone. So that one, you use that in your daily life as well. You just never realize. It's like in English to give order or when you're so excited. For example, if you have a naughty dog at home and then he's doing something naughty, what's the first thing you're gonna say to him or her? You will say like this, no, right? No, angrily say no. Or if something really exciting things happen and the first thing you want to say is yes, yes. So that no, yes is pretty much the Chinese fourth tone, right? So again, that's English intonation to express excitement, angry, that's equal Chinese fourth tone. So if you want to pronounce Chinese fourth tone, simply think about how you say no angrily or say yes excitingly. So when you say that right, apply that to the Chinese one. Okay, let's use the as example again. So this time, let's think of like an exciting yes. So practice that yes first. So it'll be like this, yes, yes. And then we use that will be ah. Okay, so if you have trouble understand that yes, okay, think about using no, right? Angry, no. So we do this, no, no. And then we use which is ah. Did you get it now? So the angry intonation is Chinese fourth tone. Okay, in those tones, you will notice there's lines above which we use as example. So those line is actually a symbol of which tone. It's literally exactly as how we pronounce it. For example, the first one because it stay the same, so it's just a line above it. And the second one is like a questionable, right? Questionable tone. It go from normal way to say and go the way up. That pitch go up. So the second tones, the mark is like this. So the third time what we say is because the pitch goes up and down, and then from the down and going up. So that's why this mark is showing as a third tone. And then the fourth tone is from a really high pitch going down like like this. So that's why mark like this. It's like from the higher pitch to a lower pitch. Okay, now we already learned the fourth tone. Let's apply it to some of the words. For example, this one literally pronounced this. Okay, let's use fourth tone to see if you can speak correctly. So with the first tone, this will say like this. Ba, ba. And with the second tone, remember that's a question. So it will be like this. Ba, ba. And the third tone is like having a sigh. So it will be like this. Ba, ba. Okay? And then the fourth tone, you are so excited or angry. So it will be like this. Ba, ba. Now, did you get it? Did you see how those intonations can apply to Chinese words? Okay, does that mean you nail the Chinese pronunciation? You nail the Chinese tone? Well, pretty much. That's literally how you pronounce the fourth tone. However, it's quite new to you, right? This tone in word thing, you never met that in your daily life. So you still need amount of time to learn it, to remember it, so that you can apply that to every single Chinese word. And also the second reason I think you still need practice is because 99 or say 95 to 99% of the time, the Chinese word usually combine with two Chinese characters. So each Chinese character has one tone. So two Chinese character means two tone. So basically when you pronounce a Chinese word, you pronounce two tone. So you might say, oh, that should be easy. Okay, think about this. Big tree. How we say it is actually fourth plus fourth tone. And most of the Chinese learner has trouble pronounce that. This one is 大树. 大树. So most of the students either pronounce the first right, 大 wrong, or they pronounce the 树 wrong because they're both full, and then it just hard, right? You really struggle at the very beginning, so that's why you need a lot of practice. And also, not just by studying those tones, you also need to learn how to identify those tones, because as you know, Chinese words is like a tonal words with different tones means different meaning. So your ear needs to identify those different tones so that you understand that means differently. So now you already fully understand Chinese fourth tone. Next thing you need to do is the tone pair practice. So in this video, I explain why tone pair practice is the most effective way of practicing tone, and also I explain how you're gonna practice. So in my beginner's course, I have a pronunciation course that lasts for 30 days. So actually it will help you with pronunciation and tone practice a lot better. Also, I will also give you one-on-one practice. So I will try to correct your pronunciation as well, because most of students don't know they pronounce things wrong. So if you're interested in my course, you can see the link below. So if you think this video is helpful, please do me a favor, give a like so that more students can find it. And also if you'd like more lessons about Chinese learning or Chinese sentence or Chinese words, just subscribe and hit the notification bell so you wouldn't miss any single episode. Okay, thank you guys, that's today's video, and thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.